Good morning. Beautiful day out. I'll take you out to one of the Nation of Patriot ride. So come along with.
Regional Commander for the Nation of Patriots for Nebraska. So we have a lot of people here to kind of, I guess, recognize and honor. We're going to be doing some speeches and I guess explain to you what this is all about. We've got one flag that's going to be touring the whole United States, and we got your great city of Papillion that's going to be launching it off here. And then in September, it's going to be coming back here for your homecoming. So the first one we have is I got the Executive Director of Nebraska would be Lisa Graves. She wants to say a little part and that's about our sponsors. Yay!
Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for coming out. I can't tell you how much we appreciate you all. I just wanted to say a quick word about some of our sponsors that helped us to make this day possible. We have the Bill Black team, and Colleen Black was kind enough to be here with us today from MP Dodge. We also have Northeast Nebraska Energy Systems, and they helped sponsor us as well. Dillon Brothers was another one. If you all weren't there, we had a bike night that they sponsored last night for us. We also have another real estate team, the Priority Group, Sally Elliott from Berkshire Hathaway, who helped sponsor us. and I believe that's all of our sponsors, but a lot of the volunteers that came together to help us to do this today, thank you so much. The nice ladies who are over there registering everyone to go on the ride today, they did not just registration, but other behind-the-scenes things. And you know, I spent some of my time volunteering to get this event going, and it was absolutely my pleasure and my honor. So thanks again, all of you, for coming out today.
So again, as I said, we're going to have some guest speakers. Our first guest speaker is Mayor Black. I just want to thank you for coming out. I just want to share a little bit about the area, because you come to Nebraska, but then you think of, why here? You're sitting in the middle of a parking lot, and it's not at a Harley dealership. But a little bit in Nebraska, I think that Sarpy County is probably the best place to be. Within Sarpy County, it's in Papillion, and in Papillion, it's exactly where we're at. If you're not familiar with the area, Sarpy County has Offutt Air Force Base. That was a fort all the way back to 1890 when the War Department stood that up. And a couple of the big things that happened there, World War II was the home of the Martin bomber plant. It made about, I think, about 531 B-29s, and one of those was the Enola Gay. So right here in this area, big in the history. 9/11, President Bush flew in here on 9/11 because of the support that was here. And it's now the headquarters for STRATCOM, which is the command and control facility. So that's kind of Sarpy County, so probably the best place in Nebraska for a military event. In Papillion itself, where we're at, last year, in partnership with the VA, we opened a VA community living center, which is basically a nursing home for veterans for short-term stay. And their mission is to restore each veteran to his or her highest level of well-being. It's also to prevent declines in health and provide comfort at the end of life. And it's just a couple of miles down the road. And then just in the last couple of weeks, we made an announcement of a new VA clinic. So a state-of-the-art VA clinic will be in Papillion. And if you're from the area, you see some construction at 72nd and Giles. That's what that is. And so that's a major deal for Papillion. The Omaha National Cemetery is in Papillion. You're going to be escorted out there and go through there. If you've never been through there, it's amazing. I'll warn you a little bit, because of the number of veterans being buried, it's actually going through some expansion. So you're going to see some construction, but it's because of the number of veterans that are passing. So that's in Papillion. And then we have a Veterans Park in Papillion, and it just started with a little thing, and we wanted to honor veterans, so it's had incremental improvements every year for the last 10 years. If you're from the area sometime, I'd really encourage you to go down there. It's downtown behind the old Dairy Queen. And if you're not from the area, just Google Maps Veterans Park and you go back there. It's an official Blue Star Memorial, an official Gold Star Memorial. It has a POW MIA KIA Memorial. If a veteran has any association with Sarpy County, they can be named on the honor wall. And we also have 5 special Papillion people that are honored in there. We have a Congressional Medal of Honor winner from the Civil War. We have a killed in action from World War I, a missing in action from Vietnam, and 2 killed in action from Afghanistan who are specifically named in there as well. So we really want to honor veterans in Papillion in a lot of ways. But why in the middle of a parking lot right here at Sumter Amphitheater? I think that thing is because of what's going to be at the top of the hill where the trees are. There were some gentlemen, and one of them is here, Mr. Tom Brown, somewhere, Mr. Tom Brown over here. There was a handful of people that realized that Nebraska was one of the only states in the nation, if not the only, that did not have an official dedicated Vietnam Veterans Memorial. And there was a small group of Vietnam vets that realized we got to rectify that. And so they formed the Nebraska Vietnam Veterans Memorial Foundation. They came up with a design. They started a capital campaign for fundraising. We found out about that and got connected with them and said Papillion wants to be part of that. And so we entered a 50-year memo of understanding and donated the land, and it's going to be right here at the top of the hill. And that construction, hopefully, we're closing a little bit of a funding gap, but if everything works out, we should start construction within the next month or so. And the goal is March 29th of next year to have the grand opening for that memorial to honor all Vietnam vets in Nebraska.
March 29th is Vietnam Veterans Memorial Day, so keep that in mind. Any Vietnam vet that was killed in action in the state of Nebraska will be specifically named in that memorial. And the centerpiece of it will be a Huey helicopter, and it has been restored. And the neat thing about that is during the restoration process, we were able to make contact with the original crew of that Huey helicopter, and they're gonna be up here for the ribbon cutting. So want to encourage you to come back for that. So hopefully that explains a little bit of why you're sitting in the middle of Papillion, Nebraska, in a parking lot. As a place to honor veterans. I want to thank Congressman Bacon, who will be speaking to us a little bit. Congressman Bacon is a retired general. He was at Offutt Air Force Base for one of his tours, or two of them. He's a Papillion resident, also a U.S. congressman, and he's the one responsible for the flag that's up here that's going to be doing the tour to have flown over the U.S. Capitol. So this flag flew over the U.S. Capitol because of Congressman Bacon, so I want to thank him for that. The event itself, I specifically want to thank Papillion. Thank Congressman. I want to specifically thank Papillion Lieutenant Ray Higgins and the Nebraska State Patrol Sergeant Jacobson. They were the ones that really got on board with this. Almost all of the logistics for today's event has been around public safety. It is a major deal in Nebraska to shut down a state highway, and we're shutting down two of them, Highway 50 and Highway 370. And we've got about 30 police officers from about 5 different agencies involved in this event. And so I want to thank them for all of that coordination. The La Vista, Bellevue, the sheriff, the state patrol, and Papillion all have officers in motor patrol here. So be sure to thank the officers when you see them. We are also live streaming this event, and so those involved with the Nation of Patriots that are not here, they can be anywhere in the nation, they should be able to see the event right now. And so the city's communication team is doing that, and you might see some drones up from the police drone team as well. So I want to thank them for all of that support. Chief Gotch from the fire department arranged to have the flag, so I want to thank him for that. And most important, Mr. Doug Huggins, who manages Sumter Amphitheater for the city, is a military veteran, and he handled a lot of the logistics, so I just want to thank him for that as well. Be sure to come back on September 16th. The ride will be wrapping up. You'll be, as you're coming into Nebraska, wrapping it up, you'll be at the Air Force Museum in Ashland with Clayton Anderson, a Nebraska resident, executive director of that, and also an astronaut. And so that'll be the last event, and then it'll wrap up here. And on the homecoming, we'll probably be inside the facility for a little bit bigger event. But I just want to thank you, and enjoy the ride.
Thank you, Mayor Black, for that speech. That was really awesome, and I really appreciate the city of Papillion of what they're doing and to help us out here. So the next person we want to introduce is Congressman Bacon.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. For those who are out of town, we love having you here. You know, first of all, I wanted to wear my Harley bling today, but you can't wear Harley here unless you ride your bike here. So I got to ride my bike out. Somebody said, hey, it looks a little dusty. Yeah. I don't get to ride as much as I like. But welcome to Sarpy County and Papillion. There's 93 counties in Nebraska. This is the fastest growing county in the state. We got businesses growing in. We got every city here is growing leaps and bounds, and it's a great place to live. I was raised in a farm in central Illinois. I came here as a lieutenant. I came back as a major. I came back as a brigadier general. And I tell you, there's no community that treats their veterans with the open arms like they do right here. I've never felt more welcome, and I had 16 assignments. I've lived all over the world, 4 different continents, and it just feels totally at home, especially when I was the commander here. Businesses would come up, what can I do to help? Like the Outback guys came in, let me cook steaks for everybody in the dorms, okay? This stuff happened all the time with our local community, so it's such a blessing to be here. And so I just want to thank Mayor Black. I've known Mayor Black since I wore the uniform. Always embraced us, but he represents the community as a whole. Everybody in the community has been that embracing. But we love our veterans. You represent 6% of the population. Think about that. You are the 6% who have defended our nation in all our various wars. I see a lot of our Vietnam veterans here today. Want to know I love you? You did what your country asked. during hard times. And when you came back, you did not get the welcome you deserved. And it does break my heart. My son's father-in-law was a Marine sniper in Vietnam, 2 Purple Hearts, shot through the chest and survived on one, right? And he was wounded by a mortar another time. Did not get a welcome home. And here's a guy that put it all on the line for our country. Did what the country asked, they get that. But we know today that that wasn't right. I think we responded knowing that we did wrong. That's what I love about our country. Our country has the ability, when we do wrong, we have freedom of speech. We have freedom of the press. And we can internalize, okay, we can self-reflect to say, no, we didn't do this right. How do we do it better? And because of our Vietnam veterans today, those of us who served in Iraq and Afghanistan, I had 4 tours, we were welcomed home. We had applause at the airplanes when we got in the airplanes. You go in the airport, you go to a restaurant, people are paying. But I think it was because folks learned from Vietnam how to do this better. So you paved the way for the Iraqi and Afghan veterans, and I want to just say thanks for Vietnam veterans today. Appreciate it. And I know it's been 2 years roughly since the Afghanistan debacle, but to those who served there, hold your head high. I didn't like how the withdrawal happened, but one thing we did do, we've stopped terrorist attacks in our country since 9/11. We killed Osama bin Laden. We killed the number 2 guy. We've decimated a whole string of terrorists from all over the world that went to Afghanistan and Iraq. There were a lot of victories there too, but I'm not happy how we pulled out, but hold your head high. We had such an increase in phone calls with people with depression that came out of Afghanistan and Iraq after that. Seek help if you need it. It's all right. I want you to know we killed the number 1 guy. We killed the number 2 guy. We killed the number 1, 2, and 3 guys in Iraq. And people from all over the country went there to attack us, and they paid the ultimate price there. So hold your head high on that too. We have an obligation to our veterans. And I say that as a veteran myself, to ensure that the VA is providing the best care possible. That's one area that unites Republicans and Democrats is the VA. We want to do good by our veterans, do the right thing. We know we got professionals at the VA that love you, but we got to upgrade some of the systems that are in the 1950s. But I know we got an obligation to you there. We have an obligation when it comes to the mental health side. We have an obligation to help veterans get jobs when they come out. We got to do better with the TAP program. So we're working a whole string of lines of effort in Congress and our Veterans Committee to help support our veterans and do a better job. Lastly, I want you to know that we have a big task in front of us. The threats will go away. You know, you guys have served, you've defended us. There's always been evil people in the world. Well, that has not changed. China is equaling our GDP today. They're like at 90-some-odd%, and it's climbing. They're building a nuclear force to match ours, and it's more modernized. Russia, we've seen what they're doing in Ukraine. And they're saber rattling with their nuclear weapons. They're threatening the Baltics. We have Iran. We have North Korea. We still need to have the best military in the world. We're indispensable, but we can't do it by ourselves. We know we got to have good allies. But we have a challenge in front of us today to defend our country and freedom, because those threats have not gone away. They're different threats, but the threats are still there. But on top of that, we have a threat of a $32 trillion deficit, or debt, and a $1.9 trillion deficit a year on average projected. We know we got to produce students that have been trained in the trades. We got a shortage of electricians, and carpenters, and pipe fitters. My point is, we have a lot of tasks in front of us, and we're going to have to deal with these tasks as Americans first. Patriots who want our country to thrive and still be the strongest country in the world. And we got to rise above this hyper-partisanship that we have now if we want to solve those 3 problems together. You know who does that best? Our veterans. Our veterans know how to say, I'm an American first. And I'm here to solve a problem, here to work across the aisle, here to figure out how can we work together to ensure that our country remains the best country in the world, the land of the free, the land where you can climb that economic ladder through hard work and character and achieve your dreams, to be equal under the law. That's what we defend, but it's going to be veterans who speak up. So I would say Uncle Sam still needs you, even though you've already served in uniform. We need you in our communities, our school boards, our city councils, your neighborhoods, Congress, you name it, wherever your heart's at. Your voice is very important because you know how to put the country first. Thank you. God bless you.
I want to thank Congressman Bacon for that speech. That was heartbreaking. That was awesome. So, like you said, veterans, we're it and everything out here, and that's mainly what this event is for, right? We're here to support our veterans. We're here to raise money and everything for our veterans. This flag is touring our whole United States. It actually includes Alaska and Hawaii, so it does hit all 50 states. You'll be traveling 115 days during that time. So once it leaves here, we're going to be going up to Norfolk, Nebraska. We're going to be doing a transfer there, stays the night. Tomorrow, we will be going to Sioux Falls, South Dakota. That's where our duty is over and everything else, and the Dakotas take it over, and it keeps going on its route. It travels every day. So every dollar we raise here for our veterans, we get to keep it within our state of Nebraska. So the next key speaker that we have is the founder of the Nation of Patriots, is Bill Scheer.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Come on. There we go, Nebraska. Here we go. First and foremost, I'm part of my role as a volunteer CEO and founder and all that good stuff of this organization is I get the honor of coming to events like this to say thank you to all those who are involved in putting all of this together. This is no small feat. Several of you can attest to that. It takes a lot of people. So first and foremost, I just want to say thank you to Sumter Amphitheater for allowing us to kick off the 2023 Patriot Tour right here. Thank you. Our local sponsors, I know we've thanked you already, but it means a lot to us when the business community engages in these kinds of events because it brings the community into what we're trying to do here. This is not about me, it's not about the greater country. Right now, we're focused on Papillion, Nebraska, and launching this tour from your hometown. And so when we see the business and community engage, we know we're doing something right. So thank you to our local sponsors. And to our national sponsors. They are the ones behind us. We could not be 100% volunteer, and we could not give 100% of everything we raise back to the cause if it was not for a select few companies out there that give us everything we need to keep the lights on. Without them, this kind of falls apart because we will not take money from you and put it in my pocket or somebody else's pocket. Those are donations and they go to the veterans that we serve to help. So, first and foremost, thank you. Yeah, that's right. Anybody that handles a firearm for any sort of reason out there, if you're not shooting with Vortex Optics glass, then you ain't shooting straight. I'm just going to tell that to you right now. They're a huge supporter of ours. They help us with the t-shirts. They're based in Wisconsin. That's where I'm from. And they are a fantastic company. And then Caston Moses, motorcycle injury attorney firm. I like to say if the rubber side is over the chrome side, you're going to need a good partner, and that's the partner that we would choose. They're a great supporter too, so thank you if you're watching. But there's two people here that I have come to personally say thank you to. If I could get Lisa and Troy to come up and stand right next to me. We've been working with these two for the last couple of months. They were the ones that got the right players in place, put together a proposal, put it on our desks. As soon as we looked at that proposal, we knew we had a winner. And it was a unanimous decision that we were going to launch the 2023 Patriot Tour right here. And I'd say, just like I said last night, man, we couldn't have picked a better state to do this from. Troy and Lisa, thank you very much. And to Papillion, thank you. Papillion, this is going to be fantastic, and I can't wait to see you in September. I was sitting down as I do every year, to try to figure out what to say when I got to this podium. And I like to bring a little bit of the history into this stuff. And every time, and I know there's people here that have heard this story, and I'm sure there's people watching that are like, oh, he's going to do it again. But I think it's important. I always go back to the first year. And it wasn't the first year we did the Patriot Tour. It was the first year that we did the Patriotic Tour for veterans. It was the first Patriot, or it was the first tour we ever did in 2009. We were a brand new organization, and it was the greatest, most wonderful failure that this organization has ever seen. And I like to tell you that because it's a good part of the history, and for those of you that don't know about it, it's kind of what brings us all here today. We learned a lot of lessons that year, which shaped us up and put us on the right track. And so, a very long story short, back in 2008 is when we started to recognize a need in the veteran community. There was a lot of veterans that were coming home from overseas, which when we were embroiled in some of the worst conflicts over there, and they were coming back in droves. They needed mental, physical care. And from what we could see, the VA hospital, as much good as they were trying to do, they were overwhelmed. And a lot of these veterans were falling through the cracks. Too many of them were committing suicide. A lot of them didn't have the information they needed to get the benefits that were staring them right in the face. They simply weren't asking the right questions. So there was a lot of confusion, misunderstanding, and unfortunately the veteran community was suffering. So after we realized what was going on, we validated that. We understood that we had the motivation, the time, the funds to do something about it. So naturally, we called up a lawyer and we started a nonprofit organization. And back then, we saw a lot of organizations springing up all over the place. And a lot of them were folding almost overnight. And there was a little bit of confusion as to who was doing what out there. So we put something on the table right away. And we said that this was not going to be a job for us. This was going to be something that we were going to be doing and doing right. Because what's the point to do it otherwise? So we said we were always going to be volunteers. And every single dollar that we took in was going to go straight to the cause. There would be no big checks for CEOs. There would be no checks or commissions for anybody else. And luckily, that is what basically propelled us through all of the years, through 14 years of doing this. But that first year, we put together the Patriotic Tour for veterans. And we were going to valiantly jump on our motorcycles and we were going to ride around the country. And we literally thought that people would come out of their homes and throw money at us because our cause was so amazing. And so we put a goal on the table of raising $1 million in 2009. We didn't raise $1 million. In fact, we raised $2,100, and we didn't complete the tour because we ran out of our own funds. We made it through every state east of the Mississippi, and we crossed over, fell into Kansas, and then tucked tail and turned home. We got home, we went back to life, back to our jobs and everything else. A couple months went by, and our director of finance contacted me. He oversees our bank accounts, and he said, "Hey, Bill, man, we got $2,100 in this account. What do you want to do with that?" And it dawned on me, we said we were going to give all this money away, so let's do that. We contacted the Milwaukee VA hospital. We told them what we had done and what we wanted to do with that money. And they went out and they found 3 candidates for us to give this money away to. So we said, okay, we met with them. We showed up. It just happened to be right before Christmas. Just a coincidence. We showed up. It was snowing. It was freezing. And they sat us in this little tiny room. And they opened the door, and in walked the first family. They sat down. We had a wonderful conversation. At the end of the conversation, still gets me to the day. We slid this check across the table. We told them where it came from, and it was just waterworks. I could not believe the impact that $700 had on this family. They told us that they were going to be able to pay some bills down, and then they asked permission to buy their kids some Christmas presents. I was holding it back. My girlfriend at the time, she was crying. It was unbelievable. We walked out of that room with a new purpose. We understood exactly how much just a little bit of support could go, or how far a little bit of support could go. And we decided that we were going to give this thing a shot again. So we retooled the patriotic tour for veterans. And instead of us jokers riding around on our motorcycles, we made it bigger than us. And we stuck an American flag on the back of a motorcycle. And we organized the tour. We made sure that we had representatives in every single, well, back then the 48 lower states, and we sent that thing on its way. About 4 months later, we showed up in Madison where it was supposed to come back. And to our surprise, it did. And it came back with about $5,000, and we gave it all away. The next year, it did it again. And it had about $7,500. So we did it again. And we continued doing it all the way up to this present day. And I am very happy to report that over the course of our history, we went from $2,100 raised and donated to over $1.8 million raised and donated. That's the power of volunteers, man. That's the power of the American spirit. It's out there. I know we don't see it on our TVs or on our Facebooks or Twitters or whatever you're into, but it's there. You're proof it is out there. And this Patriot Tour brings it all together. We come here to celebrate our country, not protest our country. We come here to celebrate and honor our veterans, our active duty military personnel. And we come here to try to raise support for those veterans who are struggling to support their families. That's what this day is all about. And this Patriot Tour has turned into a tradition that has become a promise to these people, to that community. A promise that no matter the hardship they're facing, no matter the battle, the darkness, that we, the American people, we the people, we will never forget their sacrifice. And it is for them, it is because of them, that we are and forever shall be a nation of patriots.
I want to thank Bill Scheer for that awesome speech. That was great. Really touches you. And what I want to say, part of his speech in there, it's everybody, all of you that stand in here near the house, volunteering, helping. You know, it's not just Lisa and me near the house, man. All we done made phone calls and emails and, you know, just organize things together. It's all of you out there that's helping and doing this. And so I can't say thank you enough for everybody that's involved, the city, the police department, fire department. I mean, I could have a whole sheet of list up here of people to thank, but I just want to say, if you know you talked to us, been in contact with us, I want to thank you personally. Very much appreciate it. Now we're going to go into our ceremony where we're actually going to do our national anthem. We're going to be lowering the flag, we're going to be folding the flag, and we're going to be presenting it to the flag bearer that's in charge to take it to the next stop.
Ryder, we are flag bearers. We are of the few who have proudly carried this flag. Our mission is complete and we stand relieved. As the next in line, it is with great honor that we present to you the American flag. To accept this flag is to accept great responsibility. You will act on behalf of your fellow Americans and represent all that is embodied within the colors of our flag. You represent our collective past, present, and our future. You will carry this flag in honor of our nation's veterans, all service members, and their families. Most importantly, your actions represent the memory and the valor of those who have sacrificed their lives protecting this nation. Do you, Ryder, accept this flag, this responsibility, and swear to uphold your duties until you are relieved?
I do.
Then we bestow to you the American flag and officially deem you to be a flag bearer. Ride for honor, for country, and for those who protect it all. Godspeed, flag bearer. Woo.
Okay, that concludes the ceremony. Norfolk Veterans Home. We really do appreciate you. Thank you for what you've done. That's what this is all about. Everything else, man, is veterans itself. There's a lot of veterans that are within our group. There's a lot of people that just support you guys. So we are actually, what this group is it's a Nation of Patriots, and this is called the Nation of Patriots Flag Tour. This flag will tour the whole United States, as we've always come here every year. The nice thing about this flag is that it has been launched from our home state, Nebraska. It got launched here. The other nice thing is that it comes back here in 115 days. It will be back here in Papillion again, and we will be able to rest it here and keep it here at Nebraska. It will travel all 50 states, Alaska and Hawaii. That's awesome. Yeah. The other nice thing about this flag is that it has actually flown over our U.S. Capitol. We got that done this year. That's awesome. Okay, so like I said, we had our launch this morning. We were down in Papillion, Nebraska. We done our ceremonies down there. We had Mayor Black of Papillion. We had Congressman Bacon. He done a speech. And then we also had the co-founder of the NOP. He was there. He done a speech. He's actually here, and he will be doing a speech within this too. So, but when we left this morning there, we went and toured through the National Cemetery there and paid our respects. After we came out of there, we went to Columbus, Nebraska, to the Legion Club, and they served us lunch down there, which was awesome. I really appreciate that of them. And now we're here. We made it to Norfolk. We'll do our exchange here from one flag bearer to another flag bearer, and then tomorrow morning we will be leaving here and we will be going up to Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And then it continues on its tour from there. So, but I would really like to welcome Congressman Flood. He's here, and we'd like to hear from him.
Well, first of all, welcome to Norfolk, and thank you all for your service and for your support. You're looking at right here a 99-year-old man that was a submariner in World War II. We just want to say, first and foremost, thank you to everybody for being here. Since I became a congressman last year, I have had a front row seat to see the very best of America. And I want to tell you about one experience I had just after I was sworn into the U.S. Congress. I was asked to go to the Lincoln Airfield because, as you all know, the runway at Offutt Air Force Base was shut down for repairs. And so the 55th Air Wing was based at Lincoln Airfield. And they said that we had the remains of some fallen heroes from World War II that were being flown over from the European theater via Ramstein Air Force Base. A large plane from Travis Air Force Base was bringing them over, and it was supposed to be at 4 o'clock. And I have learned from people in the Air Force that it's not unusual to be a little late. Don Bacon says. And so it was 10:30 at night when that aircraft landed. And it landed in Nebraska because we're home of the DPAA, where we honor the remains of fallen heroes. We do the DNA testing, and we repatriate those remains back to the family. And so on that aircraft were about, I believe, 20 plus caskets draped in American flags. And I went there, and I got there about 9:30 because it was set to arrive at 10. And it was dark. And there were 2 buses full of Air Force airmen from Offutt Air Force Base that had come over on buses to perform an honor guard ceremony for each one of the caskets. Not one media camera was present. Not one photographer. No one from the city of Lincoln probably even knew this was happening. But close to 100 airmen and women from Offutt Air Force Base volunteered their time in full dress to come out and to honorably move those caskets from the aircraft onto a waiting trailer. And they did not do it for any kind of recognition. They did not do it for any other reason other than to show their support for our country and to honor those men that died serving their country. And I thought at that moment that everything about America that you think is absolutely worth it. The other thing I want to say about why I think this is so special to have this flag go to every state, and I thought about this when I drive back and forth, not that I do it that often, but between here and Washington. We take it for granted, but there's not a lot of continents you can move from state to state to state. And because you're a citizen in one state, you're part of the whole deal. And we are truly in this together, this whole country. It doesn't matter if you're in a blue state or a red state. Everybody that served in the military stands up for everybody's right in each individual state. And the fact that this flag goes through all 50 sends the message that we're in this together. And it doesn't matter what political party you're in. It doesn't matter what part of the country you're in. Freedom belongs to all of us. And we have to work, myself included, every day to protect it. So with that, I just want to say thank you to all of you. Thank you to these men and women that are here, that have made this their home. This isn't enough gratitude, just this home. We need to continue to make sure you know we appreciate everything you did and have done for our country. So with that.
Thank you, Congressman Bud. I appreciate that speech. So the next person that we have is actually, like I said, the founder of the Nation of Patriots, and that would be Bill Scheer. He's from Wisconsin.
Congressman, you said it all. That was amazing. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure and honor to be here. To the group behind me, ladies and gentlemen, mission accomplished. The first official stop of the Patriot Tour is in the books. I gotta say, as a guy from what I consider to be a beautiful state, Nebraska, my first time here, this is a beautiful state. Well, I'm very pleased to be here. The Patriot Tour is something that was...
We're definitely going to beat Wisconsin.
I'm smart enough to know when I'm outnumbered. So I will invite you to Wisconsin.
Okay.
But it was a beautiful ride. I really had a good time. It's just an honor for me personally. The Patriot Tour is something that all of us volunteers do every single year. And when I say do, we plan and plan and plan and plan. And then it ends and then we plan and plan and plan again. It never stops. And as the congressman said, you know, we're all in this together. This is a huge effort by nothing but volunteers who come out here to do the right thing by the people that have served this country and made it the place that we love. I don't know how much more I can say about that. The words escape me. I just want to say thank you again. Thank you to our veterans. Thank you to the riders. I need to go home with a big smile on my face. Thank you to Troy, Lisa, Jim and brother Tyler Davidson, and awesome.
Awesome. That's really great. So now what we're going to do is we're actually going to do the ceremony of the passing of the flag from one flag bearer to another. So, color guard guys, go get our flag. Right here. Don't bring it up to you.
Bob. Detroit.
Miss Lisa.
She can read. Let Lisa read. Riders, attention! And salute. Two.
Turn sideways. Thank you.
Ryder, I am a flag bearer. I am one of few who have proudly carried this flag. My mission is complete and I stand relieved. As the next in line, it is with great honor that I present you the American flag. The American flag represents over 2 centuries of sacrifice and triumph. This flag I present you embodies all of that history. Your acceptance of this flag becomes your pledge that you will carry and care for these colors with relentless respect. On behalf of your fellow Americans, you pledge to represent our collective past, present, and our future. On behalf of our nation's veterans, the enlisted, and their families, you pledge to carry this flag in their honor. On behalf of those fallen in their service to this United States, you pledge to carry this flag in their memory. Do you, Ryder, accept this flag, this responsibility, and swear to uphold your pledge until you are relieved?
I swear.
Then I bestow to you the American flag and officially deem you to be flag bearer. Ride for honor, for country, and for those who protect it all. Godspeed, flag bearer.
Yes, it is. Awesome. So there's our ceremony. The flag has been passed to the next flag bearer. He is responsible for that flag to take care of, and he will get it up to Sioux Falls, South Dakota tomorrow and present it to another flag bearer. And it will keep on its journey. Every day it will be moving. So if you guys would like to, near else, go on the website of the Nation of Patriots. Every day, I'm pretty sure that it's on there of where it's at. And if any of them have live feeds, they'll put them on there. If not, I'm pretty sure they'll be posting pictures and updates and everything where it's at. I do know if you do go on the website, I think it's going to be posted on there. We did have live feed this morning, and it's going to be up and running for a while. So if you actually wanted to watch the ceremony that happened down in Papillion, you can go on there and watch it and see all the speeches and watch what we did with the flag there. So, did have one thing to say. We had 2 Marines fold that flag. Did they do okay? Yeah. All right. Good deal.